Another important thing is your direction and vision. You should have a roadmap that's very, very clear, very achievable. It can have some BHAGs, but it should also be driven by metrics. So in case you don't know what BHAGs are, they're big, hairy, audacious goals, or ass goals. But make sure that if you keep missing milestones, think about what that does to your company's culture. It's basically like, oh, we're a bunch of people who can't get stuff done. That doesn't feel really good. So it's up to you to figure that out and try to figure out, like, where's the goalpost at and how are they going to reach it? Feedback is incredibly important. I've seen different companies do things different ways. I worked at AngelList for a little while, and they did 360 feedback from employees, and it was anonymous, and it was brutal. I had somebody, I suspect I might know who it is, who said, when is she going to leave? I don't think she does anything here. Is her contract up yet? And yeah, wow, right? But you know what? You can't work at AngelList if you don't have thick skin. You can't work at AngelList if you can't take constructive feedback, because that's part of their culture. And they warned me about that when I came. And guess what? They live it, they breathe it. It's part of every part of their process. They are brutally honest with each other, and it hurts. But you know what I read that as? I read that as, I'm not communicating well enough. Nobody knows what I'm doing. I'm not in the office enough. I need to be more present, and so I fixed it. But again, that's not for everybody. A lot of people would buckle under that. So I recommend, at a minimum, do reviews. This doesn't need to be process heavy, but do them at least quarterly. Do check-ins weekly, bi-monthly, and be able to receive feedback on yourself. I think that's really, really important. Always ask your employees, like, do you have any feedback for me? And you'll be surprised at what you hear. Like, sometimes they'll be like, well, you're intimidating, or I really didn't like how you handled this issue. And then take that feedback and incorporate it and try to become a better leader. It's a really great opportunity. And then the other thing is that reward your employees. Reward ambassadors of your culture. And look for every opportunity you can to basically pat someone on the back. Because a lot of times they're not getting it themselves. They're not getting it from their teammates. So it really matters. So I'm going to tell you a little story that I'm really fond of. I met Simon Fuller once. And Simon Fuller said that he went to Google, and a bunch of Google engineers said, we can predict who the next American Idol is going to be based on all of our data. And he said, I bet you can't. And he says, oh, yeah. The engineer said, oh, yes, we can. And he said, great. Well, let's just put our answers in an envelope. We'll seal it in a box. It's not rigged. Basically, Simon Fuller he doesn't have any sort of say over who wins American Idol. So they put their answers in a box, and guess who was wrong? Google. Google was wrong. They assumed that the underdog, the villain, the most searched for person was going to win. But it turns out that they didn't win. And so Simon Fuller said, that's the one thing about you folks in Silicon Valley. You don't understand psychology. You don't understand human motivation. And you don't understand that I have editing control over who goes on first and who goes on last and where the number appears on the screen. So, with that said, yes, rely on data. You're going to need it, and you're going to want to watch your metrics, but you need to understand what the metrics really mean. And you're going to need to basically understand human motivation a little bit too. I like to add a little bit of humanness to all of my talks.
Yes, I am so in love with Tommy John. Their underwear, their socks, their undershirts, everything. Especially, actually, I love their hoodie. People don't know they make a hoodie. I love the hoodie as well. I'm probably going to buy a second one, actually, because I never want to be without it. Let me just tell you about the underwear right now. These underwear are life-changing. I kid you not, this past week, threw away every pair of underwear I had. And some of these things are back from college. I'm not kidding you. I've had underwear for 20 years. So I get some tighty-whities in there. I think I found a pair of Empire Strikes Back underwear. I'm not kidding. That's how far back these things go to underoos. But Tommy Johns are perfect. They're made out of this amazing breathable fabric that moves with you, not against you. And it's ultralight. I'm wearing them right now. And you never have to make that awkward adjustment. Gentlemen, you know what I'm talking about. And you'll never get a wedgie. Everybody knows what a wedgie is. You're not going to get those. They are just perfect. I literally bought 10 of them. I am on a new, fresh rotation. I feel confident. And I take these things when I'm hiking, when I'm playing basketball, when I'm sitting at a poker table, when I'm here doing the podcast, and when I'm walking around the city. Sometimes I feel like taking my pants off and just walking in my Tommy Johns. I'll just be honest here. They are that amazing. I love them. I walk around the house in my Tommy John, so my wife laughs. She says, "You love those underwear, don't you?" It's true. I do love them. And listen, it's backed by the best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free, guarantee. And I just had the founder of Tommy John on. What a spectacular story it is, this startup, from Howard Stern to other celebrities just becoming addicted to the product. It is an amazing, amazing company, great founder. And most importantly, they're just obsessing on product. And really, that's what this direct-to-consumer product revolution is about. And Tommy John is leading that revolution. They study and they study and they refine their products to a level of obsession that people who had guaranteed marketing channels, i.e. shelf space, just didn't do. People just didn't care. They wanted to make everything for the lowest price possible. That's not what Tommy John does. They say, let's make the best pair of underwear possible. Let me tell you something. You know what? You're spending a lot of time in your underwear. I'm telling you that. We all know that. Why not have the best pair you'll ever wear? I love it. And by the way, the socks are great too, because I wear the socks every day. And I did the same thing. Just tossed all my old socks, got all these socks. They last forever, and they always stay up all day. It's a great, great company. I love the product, as do many other podcasters and famous folks. Like I said, Howard Stern can't shut up about these things. TommyJohn.com/twist. TommyJohn.com/TWIST, and you'll get 20% off your first order. TommyJohn.com/twist to get 20% off your first order. You're going to love the product just like I do. Go ahead and go to TommyJohn.com/twist and order a couple pairs of underwear, a couple pairs of socks. You're going to love it. Okay, let's get back to this amazing program.